Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to HandsOnSAPDev with Q Macro. That's me, DJ. Lovely sunny Friday morning here in Manchester. I'm suffering a little bit from hay fever, so apologies for sniffing. Apologies in advance for sniffing and sneezing and generally sounding a bit rubbish, or even more rubbish than usual. Good morning, Chesh. Good morning, Helmut. Good morning to Hanover. Good morning, Tim, across the way in Chorlton. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Mahesh. Servus, Max. Nice to have you all on board. I'm looking forward to today. I'm pretty exhausted, actually, but it's been a good week. I'm looking forward to working more with Max later on today. A bit more prep for our code along with Max and DJ on something that I'm going to remind you of shortly. What else is new? Well, I've got some coffee. I've got a new batch of coffee from Heart and Graft. And I'm thinking actually of doing, there was a tweet from one of our leaders, Gerrit Katzmeier, on Twitter, about coffee, and he'd done some nice latte art and I replied to him. I'm thinking, just over there in the kitchen, I've got my coffee making paraphernalia. And what I really enjoyed a few weeks ago was Tom, our direct leader, Tom Young, did a really nice video on his morning run routine type thing. So I'm thinking of doing like a morning coffee, what I do for morning coffee. I think I might do that, but I need some sort of way of mounting the phone camera so I can sort of point it to what I'm doing. So I might go and see if I can find one of those sort of, what do you call them? Like a monkey clamp thing. I'm not sure what they call a spider clamp, a monkey clamp, I don't know. Good morning, Pierre. Good morning, Napit. Or is it good afternoon already? 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, there we go. So we're all ready. Hey, Robert. Welcome. And we'll be seeing Robert and Napit later, won't we? Yes. Hope to see everyone during the weekend. So that's a perfect opportunity. Let's move this camera down a little bit. Perfect opportunity for me to move to the main stream, the main scene rather, where I've got 2 or 3 things I want to just remind you of. The most important is, of course, that this coming weekend, i.e. tomorrow and Sunday, is the inaugural SAP online track, organized by many superheroes, including Napit and Ronnie, and I think those are the only 2 organizers on the stream this morning. We got SAP online track. It starts, well, in fact, the schedule, if you go to SAP online track.github.io, that's the URL there. If you go to the link here, there's a really, really cool teamup.com based schedule. So Craig Schmehill is kicking it all off at 1 p.m. I think these are my local time, so 1 p.m. UK time. So if you go there, I guess you'll see it in your time as well, which is pretty cool. And there's a ton of sessions, so many that they've had to organize it into 3 tracks. So I'm really excited. Max and I have got a few sessions. I think many people on the live stream right now have got some sessions as well. So that's really good. So check it out. Check out the schedule. I think also, Ronnie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've just seen some chat on Discord. I've not managed to go there yet, been so busy. But I think some of the timings, some of the start times of some of these have changed due to reasons, technical reasons or something with YouTube. So double check if you've already sort of put things in the calendar to go and watch. Double check that the times are the same, etc. It starts 12 UTC. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. These are local. I would love to sort of just think in UTC all the time. Yes, the team up does seem to automatically adjust to local time zone. Actually, we're doing a virtual event pilot, sort of taking the content of CodeJam and mixing it all up and everything, and trying to do a virtual version of that. We're doing some pilots with some awesome folks. And I've been wondering whether we need a different thing like Team Up or something like that for how we might sort of organize those things. Anyway, that's another story for another time. One other quick update: the SAP Community Coding Challenge is going on right now, challenge number 2. I posted a blog post. I published a blog post a couple of days ago. Yes, it is Srikant Perry's magic. It is awesome. So there's the link to the coding challenge update. Some amazing solutions, really nice solutions, really nice to read. Mahesh, I loved your use of trampolines, which we'll have a look at on Monday, because on Monday, I mean, we're looking at lots of things on Monday. I thought we'd do a live stream, which is here. Where's the live stream? There it is. I thought I'd use the same sort of format as the Hands on SAP Dev. So if you go there, there's a live stream coming up on Monday afternoon, my time, on where we're going to have a look at some of the challenge solutions that have been submitted. So check that out. That's on Monday. The pre-recorded sessions. Okay, yes, definitely best to check the team up schedule. Cool. So there is a live stream happening on Monday for the community challenge. And also, I've put this appears, I went to my calendar, this appears in fact, I'll go here, bit.ly live stream times. This is what I'm trying to update, bit.ly live stream times. I'm not sure, how long I'll be able to keep this updated, but this, if you go there, it will go to a calendar. I'll get rid of that one now, I don't need that one, with all the upcoming live streams. So this is one right now, for example. Max's was yesterday. Tom's premiere was on Tuesday there was Max's, another one from Max on last Tuesday, this week. Next week, for example, that is the community coding challenge. There's another premiere from Tom. There's a Hands on SAP Dev that I've got with Marius. And then there's Hands on SAP Dev regular on Friday and so on. So yeah, check that live stream times out. It might be helpful because for me, I like looking at it in the schedule. I think it used to be called agenda. That's why it's an A, a shortcut A. That really sort of helps me see what's going on there. Anyway, that's that. So let's get going. It's 8:07. I've got my coffee. Where are we? There we go. I've got my coffee. And where did we leave off? So what we're trying to do today, as the title says, we want to finalize the custom task UI for workflow, right? And what we had at the end of last Friday, we'd gone through in debug mode in the Chrome Developer Tools, which is awesome, and sort of played around with some of the things that the documentation here is telling us that we need to do. Hey, howdy, Robertino. Welcome. The documentation is telling us that we need to do. Hey, morning, Joe Blower. Good morning, Joe. Great to see you. It has been a while indeed. It has been a while. Really nice to see you, Joe. And John as well. Oh my goodness me, it's like a Bluefin reunion all over again. Fantastic. So welcome, John and Joe. By the way, folks, I used to work with John and Joe at Bluefin Solutions back in the day, a couple of years ago now. We're all in this team called MUD, Mobile UX and Dev, which was one of the best teams I've ever worked with, folks. Anyway, come on, DJ, focus. Again, I think I've had too much coffee instead of too little coffee. But yeah, we played around with what we needed to do, all the different bits and pieces, like going and getting the task information, getting the context, binding that context to some sort of UI elements on the screen, and then also we started putting some buttons in the My Inbox sort of UI frame. We sort of played around with that. So what we're going to do now, and I really want to try and finish it off today, move on to something else next time, is to sort of do that for real, i.e. do it in the Web IDE. So this is what we had. I'd built, if you remember, if you look at the recording of last Friday's, I'd sort of created a test MTA project called test. In there, I'd put two things. I'd put a workflow module, and the workflow module is like the simplest thing that could possibly work. There's the workflow module there. It just sort of starts, and there's a user task, and then it ends, and that's it, because we're just messing around with user tasks. The details of the user task, I think we put test there for the subject, and in the user interface, we're pointing to the other thing that we've got in this MTA module, which is this HTML5 module, which I did with right-click, new HTML5 module. And this is, the basic HTML5 module that you get. It's just a regular HTML5 UI5 component. Okay, and the result of that was the fact that when let's go to the workflow definition. There it is. There's the workflow definition, version 1. Start new instance. If we start new instance, notice product here, right? Let's just remember that product property name there. If we then go in and have a look, in fact, I'll open this in a new tab as well. So we've got the sort of the monitor thing here, and also now the my inbox here. There should be 2 in there because of the one from last week, or one from earlier this morning actually. There it is. So what we've got, if I open up Chrome Developer Tools, that's all we need there. What we've got in the sources is basically this. Okay, it doesn't do very much. The title is coming from where is it? In the view, the title is coming from there, page title, and that's internationalized, which is there, right? This is all like a nice reminder. And we've got nothing in there. Okay, and user task 1, why don't we change that right now? Let's start changing things. User task 1 is coming from the workflow definition. So let's have this as hands on SAP dev with QMacro. There we go. Let's have that. And then also in the subject, rather than test, which is pretty boring in the title here of in the master list, let's have something that uses the context. There was a products property in that Hamlet. There was a Hamlet thing. So approval for, and then we're using this. What's it called? JavaScript. JUEL, JavaScript something language, expression language. Unified JavaScript. Java Unified Expression Language. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, Volker! Moin moin! I'm doing UI5 again. Yeah, I'm very, very rusty. Very, very rusty indeed. Context.product. But it's, you know what? It's really nice to be doing UI5. It's just I've forgotten how fantastic it is. We're not going to do very, very much advanced UI5 today, just some basic stuff. But anyway, okay, let's save that. I'm not going to deploy it again just to see those changes, but it's going to look nicer now when we go into my inbox. So now, why don't we do the same that we did last time, which was to follow through the documentation and copy paste those things, those bits of JavaScript, and put them in and make sure they work. And then we'll also go into the view and sort of, just add something in there to display something. And then we've got, and then we'll add the buttons, and then we've got a few functions that we need to define to happen when we press the button. And that's it. That then is the custom task UI. JUL, thank you, Max. Mahesh, string template. Where was it? I couldn't remember the name of string templates last time. String templates, and I think it was, in fact, another Bluefin Mud alumnus, Tiago, reminding me what that was. Thank you, Max. Java Unified Expression Language. You are welcome. Nicely done, Max. Yes, nicely done. I sort of gave you that one, didn't I? Anyway, I gave you that opportunity to hammer the Java thing home. Okay, so in here we've got the documentation. So this is what we did last week, so I'm not sort of going to try and explain it in detail again. Get the task instance. So let's just grab this. This is what we did last week as well, and stick it in here. In fact, let's tidy this up a bit. And I'm going to get rid of the comments as well, only because, again, I'm streaming with a large screen, large font, which I like, and I like watching large fonts. So obviously, real estate is really important. So let's get rid of this. Enable routing. Yeah, let's just leave that in. We're not going to be doing any routing anyway, but that's fine. And also this device model here. Do we really need that? We'll have that there for now. But really, I mean, it's a little bit sort of, over the top having this models thing here, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's good practice, but to be honest, in this models.js, all I've got is a create device model, which just does that, right? I want to keep things simple. So I don't know, why don't we say, in here, this.set model new SAP. Come on, why is it so slow? .ue.model.json.json model. See, the thing is, Volker, I don't know whether looking over the chat over there or the camera over here or the screen over here, sort of like, ooh, going on today. But my finger, that's just muscle memory. I don't know. Let's have the device. There we go. And semicolon after that. It's really, really slow. Anybody know how to turn off the suggestions? Anyway, so we don't need this now. We can get rid of that, I guess. And also a comma there, and we don't need that reference to the models. That seems a little bit cleaner, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. There's the metadata. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, super constructor. Blah, 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 blah. Fine. Okay, so now I reckon we're ready. Is that still? Yes, it's still my buffer. Okay, let's to stick that in there. Okay, we got to stick with sort of pre-ES6 syntax here with the var and everything. That's fine. I think we'll do that as well. So what have we got? We've got the get component data, as in we're a component, and when we're instantiated, we're given some data from our father, from our mother, from our parent, basically. And within that component data, we've got some startup parameters through which we get access to the task model, right? Because don't forget, this is in the context of a task instance, workflow task instance. That task model has already been instantiated, and so we can already say get data. I mean, this is copy pasted from here. I mean, I suppose we could say, get property instance ID instead of get all of the data and then just get the instance ID property from that. But anyway, who cares? That's the web ID for your project, Business Application Studio. Can't take over soon enough. John, yes, Business Application Studio. Looking forward to that. Well, I mean, it's there anyway. I mean, probably after this one, we'll leave Web IDE and move to the Business Application Studio and or Vim, etc. The simplest thing that could possibly work. Exactly, Andrew. That is a quote, as probably people know from one of my many heroes, Ward Cunningham. Check him out, inventor of the wiki, etc. Put it in manifest.json. Oh yes, I should put it in manifest.json. Yes, I won't right now because that might take, I'm just conscious of time. But yes, that's where it should go. Thank you, Volker. Task ID. So that's fine. Okay, so we're getting that. So what's the next thing we need to do? Get the task instance and then press next. Ooh, yes, there we go. Read the task context data. I mean, we've sort of done that, right? The context model. Oh yeah, no, we haven't done that. There we go. Sample code. So what we want to do is, there we go. Copy that. Bring that into there. Okay, so that's what. In fact, let's have it all nice and neat so we know what the heck we are doing. The previous one was. Get the task instance. There we go. Get the task instance ID. So let's just have some comments here. Look at that. Look at that. Have some comments at least. And now, there we go. Get task instance ID. Read task context. Read task context data. Let's put that in there. Oh, must have copied the button as well. There we go. There we go. And now what we need to do, in fact, why don't I put that there? So it's sort of there. I can go like that, can't I? Yeah, with my keyboard. Right, so copy, put that into here. So what have we got? Let's just get that thing out of the way for a minute. What have we got? We've got the context model, okay, which is the app ID is QMacro HTML. What is it called? QMacro. It's basically whatever's in the manifest. I just collapsed that, haven't I? In the manifest, JSON, QMacro HTML5 module without the dots. Okay, that's the app ID, QMacro HTML5 module without the dots. Okay, context model, BPM workflow, and task instances, task ID context. Okay, we've looked at this last Friday. We're going to grab the context data and also on the context model, set the default binding mode one way. Oh, fine. Let's just do that. And we're going to set that context model on our component, right, as the default, as the domain model, as the default model, which is fine. Okay, good. Let's save that. So now we've got the task information. We've grabbed the context, okay, through this BPM workflow runtime route, which is defined. I keep collapsing this to make more space, and I keep needing to going back. Which is defined for us as a route in XSRF.json here, okay? BPM workflow runtime, anything, go to the BPM workflow service, specifically the workflow REST URL endpoint, which has that thing. Where is it? If we look at the service bindings, workflow, workflow. Oh, I didn't mean to go there, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There we go. There, workflow REST URL. It's got that workflow service REST sort of path prefix already on there, right? So all we need to do for that, is add to the end of it what exactly we want from the API, which is v1 task instances, the task ID, context, and then we're golden. Right, okay, perfect. So the next thing we need to do is write task instance data. We skipped over this last time as well. Write the task context data via REST JSON model, right? We looked at the task instance data. We've already got it in a model, haven't we? And I think we set the model. Yeah, we set the model on the component as well, didn't we? Why don't we do that as well? This.set model task model, and we gave it the model name task, so we can access stuff in the task model as well. All right, so we'll that's fine. That's the door. Somebody's at the door. Woo!
Someone's at porch.
I'm hoping that's quite good. That Michelle can go. It's our neighbours finally got back from lockdown Spain. That's completely distracting me now. So read task context data. That's fine. We'll just do that. Okay. So here we go. Bind a UI element to an attribute of the task context. Okay, fine. So now we have enough in our component.js so far. So why don't we go to the view and have a look at what we've got. We've got nothing in the page. So what we've got right now, okay, this is the page here. So we've got the title. There's the page. That grey bar there is the top of the page. The page has got a title, which is title right now, and there's the bottom of the page. So let's put some content in there, right? One of my favorite UI5 controls is object header, actually, because it's got some nice layout. And you don't have to sort of think about making it look cool. It is a fantastic doorbell sound, John, and it's a real doorbell thing with electrics and ding dong, because you have to use that to power the Nest Hello, whatever it's called, thing. Anyway, I don't know. Somebody came and fixed it in for me because I couldn't figure out how to do it. Object header, UI5. Let's go to the UI5 SDK. Look at this. My goodness me. What is that? Before we continue, what? I'm using Brave here because I need to have a different identity in the thing. Blah blah blah. There we go. SAP UI5, HandsOnSAPDev.com. Here we go. Sample. Let's look at the samples rather than the API reference. That's big. Anyway, object header. There we go. Now, this is also, the samples is also dear to my heart, because when I was working at SAP, I created a lot of these samples, and at the time there were some of them, well, all of them that existed were all in JavaScript. The views were in JavaScript, so I had to convert all those to XML first of all, which made me learn about XML views, and I added a lot more samples. So a lot of these samples, I think, are still my code. It's still my code. I don't know. Anyway, object header, that'll do. We'll have this example here. See, this is really nice. So we'll just have the information from the default context, the Hamlet and the price and whatever. What have we got actually in the default context? God, the time's going really fast, isn't it? Start new instance. We've got product name, in stock. Oh, that's a Boolean. We don't want that. Inventory, price. Okay, put price in that top right hand corner. We've got an author. Well, that's interesting because it's authors. It's got a substructure, and we've got an array. Okay, so why don't we have? Let's just get something up and running first. Why don't we have in the note? We'll have the page title could be something. We'll get something from the task, and we'll have this as the product. Okay, so why don't we do that? So let's have a look. Let's have a look right behind the scenes, behind the curtain. So that is the title. The title and state object attributes. There we go. Object attributes. It's all coming back to me like a bad dream, like a good dream. So we'll have title equals, and we'll bind that to product. That's from the context. Okay, the context itself, right, for all those non-UI5 people is basically going to be this, and everything at the top level, which is this is the top level, starts with a slash. And we'll have also, and I think the default aggregation, Volker, keep me real here. The default aggregation in an object header is object attribute, the attributes. Is that correct? Let's have a look, actually. Let's have a look, because this is all about discovering together, right? Or rediscovering. So object header, please wait, come on. I think my machine's going a bit mad. Okay, Falco, you got to drop for a meeting. Hope to see you. Yes, we'll see you tomorrow at SAP Online Track. Aggregations, here we go. Aggregations, attributes. Default attributes is the default aggregation. Okay. Now I'm a bit particular, and I don't like not having explicitly. I don't know whether anybody else is the same, but I like to have it explicit, right? So there we go. Anyway, object. What's it called again? Object. Object header, entity, object attribute text. Okay, we've got a text property in the object attribute. Right, cool. Okay, object attribute text equals now something. Okay, something. There's our aggregation binding, but we also need to bind that aggregation explicitly here. Attributes equals what we're going to bind it to. We're going to bind it to. If we bind it to publishers, which is an array of things with no property names, actually, so we've got to be careful, right? Publishers, publishers. Oh, at the root. What did I just say, DJ? You idiot. There we go. So we're binding the attributes aggregation to the publisher's property in the context, and then here. Actually, the binding is going to be nothing. There's no property name, right? It's just a bit weird, right? So that the publisher's, where is it? The publisher's value is an array of strings, not an array, of scalars, not an array of objects or maps with, name, value, pairs, property name. So let's see if that works anyway. That'll do for now. I think the title, instead of having the title, there was a task title, wasn't there? Task title. It doesn't matter, but let's just guess at what it was. And it's in the task thing. Task title. Was it task title? I can't remember from last week. Let's try it. If it doesn't appear, it doesn't appear. Okay, that'll do for now, right? Oh, actually, while we're here, let's have the price as well, right? Might as well. The price is the price, and that is. We'll have number. We won't bother about the currency or anything. Okay. Stick it in number. Perfect. Put that there. Title number equals price. Save that. Okay, let's try that. Is that a good place to? Yeah, why not? Let's build that whole thing and deploy it and see what happens. Right? Have a piece of chocolate. There we go, MGA archives, deploy. Hello. By the way, my this particular QMacro plus workflow code jam at gmail.com Cloud Foundry Cloud Platform account expired 90 days, and it's switched, and it's now actually a feature set B, which is quite cool. Maybe we'll explore feature set B, and there's an awesome command line tool, still relatively in its infancy, but still pretty useful so far already. SAP CP. We could play around with that. Okay, Ronnie, you got to go. See you all tomorrow. See you, Ronnie, tomorrow on Online Track. Looking forward to it, and thank you again, Ronnie, and all the team for organising that. It's going to be brilliant. Yes. Oh, John, you got the Nest smoke alarm. Ah, interesting. Yeah, maybe I should upgrade to the Nest smoke alarm. I've got a Nest cam at the back. While this is deploying, I've got the Nest cam at the back, and I've got a Nest cam at the front, and the Nest Hello doorbell camera as well. So I've got 3 cameras. Here's the MTA Ops mod, which I'm sure folks sort of know about. We did this, didn't we, a few weeks ago, using the cool CF sort of deploy attached to an existing sort of deployment and monitor it, so we can see what's going on here, which I quite like. And of course, we have to sort of display some terminal stuff in a live stream because it's law. There we go. So anyway, 8:30. Okay, good. I was slightly panicking about the time because I want to get to the buttons part as well. So, however this looks, we'll leave it at that. That's all we want to do really is just have some examples of some binding to a property, to a UI5 control. Okay, it's finished. Good. Right. So let's have a look. My inbox, and let's refresh this one. I mean, basically, that's empty cache and hard reload. See if we can get that for this particular one here. Let's see what happens. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So we can see already that we've. Oh gosh, wow, that was quite cool, wasn't it? I've surprised myself. We changed. Remember, we changed in the workflow definition, in the user task definition. We changed the. What was it? What did we change? I'm all over the place today. What's going on? What did we change? We changed in the. There we go. Yes, we changed the name of the user task itself. So this text here is now this text here, which is pretty cool. Test is the name of the. Oh, did I not change the thing? Test. I can't remember. Test. Oh. Test details. What? I can't remember where test is coming from. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. I can't remember because we set. I think that is this, right? Task title. Oh yes, of course. That was test, right? So we're. That's quite cool. If we this says test. Because this was an instance of the workflow definition one version prior to this one, right? So if we go in here and have a look, if we refresh this now, first of all, that should be version 2, right? If we now start a new instance, and let's put banana here instead so we know which one's which, right? Banana paperback. And then we go into here and refresh, right? There we go. There's the test one. Approval for banana. That should now be approval for banana, right? Because the task title, right, is of course in part of the task, and that task already existed before we changed that workflow definition. There we go. So hopefully it explains. Does that make sense, right? So we've got title in this one. The title in this one, which is test, but we change the title to approval for, and then dollar context, blah blah blah, right? So let's go to this one, approval for banana, right? Okay, so we've got banana paperback. There's the price. I just love the object header. It's just one of the wonderful things about UI5 is that I'm absolutely rubbish at design and CSS and HTML, but I don't need to be good because UI5 is good for me, right? So I just write some XML. Wonderful. And there. Simon & Brown, SparkNotes, Dover Publications, those are the 3 publisher string names that we had in publishers that are now individual object attributes in the attributes aggregation, right? So that's cool. That'll do, right? Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that's fine. And we know that this is working now because we've got the task model set on there as well, which is quite cool. Okay, fine. So let's go back here and see what we need to do next. Adding task completion buttons. Oh, yes. Okay. Call the task completion REST API. Okay. So what we're going to do is, well, first of all, let's add some buttons, right? Let's go to add some buttons. This is what we did last time as well. That'll do. Let's copy that and bring that in here and go back to the components. Let's get rid of it. Let's kill all the other ones. It just worries me when everything else is open. I don't know why, but anyway. Go there and paste that in. And shall we do a beautify? John, is that a good idea? Beautify? Okay, fine. So starter parameters, we've got those. Have we got those starter parameters? Yeah, starter parameters there. Inbox add action. We played around with this last week, remember? Reject. And we can also put here, didn't we? We put type reject with a lowercase, and that sort of converts it to the real UI5 type. And we'll have type here, type. Is it approve or approval? I can't bloody remember. Accept, not approve. Accept. That's right. I knew it was not quite right. Accept. Okay, that'll do. Now, we've got those things here. What's that mean? Trailing comma. Oh, yeah, okay. Type reject. Fine. We've got now this complete task. So we've got to do a few things, right, once we click these buttons. But let's, while we're looking at that, let's just build and deploy that so we can just make sure the buttons do appear, right? One thing at a time, DJ. Come on. Deploy, come on, deploy, get ready to deploy rather while it's still building. Oh, Andrew, given you're not visually gifted, how about a custom control to display those details nicely? Yes. What you've got one for me? Another few sessions on custom controls. Oh, tell you what, custom controls. I used to do custom controls, but not very well. And there are people who are far more gifted than I. When it comes to that sort of thing. For example, people on this channel, for example, like Volker. But one of our colleagues, Marius, maybe we'll sort of force him to come on, persuade him, is that the word, to come on and show us some custom controls. Or even somebody from the UI5 team. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Good idea. Oh, also, I've got in touch with some of the folks that were presenting on the latest CAP course on OpenSAP, and I may be able to persuade them to come and make an appearance on HandsOnSAPDev, which I'm looking forward to. So we're deploying now. So basically, while that is deploying, okay, we can sort of monitor it here as well. There we go, fine. We got one. Yes, hello, very good. What do we need to do? So basically, once you press a button, we want the complete task, okay? So this complete task here is that thing here. And we've got a refresh task. Let's put this in as well, a refresh task. You can refresh the task list once a task is completed. So basically, the update task here, let's copy this and put it in. It's a separate function, so it sort of goes here. Let's just collapse this in it for a second. There we go. And refresh task. There we go. Let's just beautify. Does it not beautify if it's collapsed or something? Save. Why is it not allowing me to beautify? Anyway, doesn't really matter. Let's not go there. So the refresh task uses again, right? The inbox API. There's another thing called update task where you can give it a task ID, right? And it will sort of refresh the master list of tasks so that once you've approved or rejected or whatever, completed effectively the given user task, it should disappear from the master list. So that's that. We need that anyway, right? What else do we need? Well, let's go back actually, because we've also got this complete task here, right? We want the complete task. Stick that in as well. Let's stick that there. I don't know why. Why is it not allowing me to beautify anymore? What's going on? I was using that as a lazy thing. And I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? There we go. Refresh task there. So what is this doing? This is really annoying. Let's close this and open it again. It's really annoying me that it's not allowing me to beautify. There we go. That's better. Right. Okay. So we've got also a complete task, which is the thing that's being called here from when we press the button. Has that deployed? Yes, it has. So let's have a quick look at my inbox. Let's hard refresh here. Boing. Let's move that over. Come on. Oh, there we go. So we got the buttons. We did this last week as well manually, right? We got these buttons, approve and reject. Now, when that is called, of course, for example, if we press the reject button, we go here, right? Complete task is not there, so it's not going to work, obviously. Bong. So let's now fill out or think about what we need to do for this complete task. So the complete task is basically the thing that makes an AJAX call, an HTTP call, to the BPM workflow runtime, to the workflow API, specifically to that task instance. Now, the workflow API itself is this one, user task instances. We're making a patch, so we need to specify the task instance ID, update task by ID, right? We give the task instance ID, and in the body we can put, right, the things that we want to update. We don't have to, because it's a patch, semantically, we can just supply the properties and the values of the properties that we want to update. We don't have to supply the complete thing. It's not like a put, right? From an HTTP perspective. So what we've got, we need to go, oh yeah, we need to get a token, right? So we need to get an XSRF token for this to work, authorizations. And we also need the app ID again, which is what? QMacro HTML5 module. Patch, application JSON, async false. That is just so ugly. I just hate it. So let's do that in a nicer way. Var data equals status completed context. And now this is the context that this is the context properties that we want to update. All we want to say is, approved, and then we'll just take the approval status, right? What else is it doing here? Let's get rid of this thing again. And that's it. That's all we're updating, right? So that's fine. There's the data, and now we can just say here, which is I think nicer. I don't know about you, but I think it's nicer. We just say JSON.stringify data. Okay, there we go. That's fine. So then we can sort of more easily maintain this and also more easily see what that is, right? And we need this cross-site request forgery token. So we haven't got this fetch token. So where's that in the documentation? I did see it, didn't I? Previous. Oh, there we go. It was there. Oh, there we go. Fetch XSRF token. CSRF, XSRF. Take your pick. There we go. There it is. There. I mean, all I'm doing right now is copy pasting all this stuff and sticking it in here. Complete task. There we go. I think it's going to go there, right? Fetch token. Let's beautify that thing. There we go. Fine. Var token. Blah, blah, blah. QMacro HTML5 module. QMacro HTML5 module. Basically, the reason I'm doing copy pasting from the documentation is to show you that, when you want to do this, all you have to do is go to documentation, copy paste it. There's nothing sort of weird. Save that. Return token. Token equals this dot fetch token. Okay. I mean, if I was writing it like this, if I was writing it myself, I wouldn't write it like this. For example, I'd just go whammo, bammo, thank you very much indeed, like that. But let's just leave it as it is, right? So we know we're not changing very much. Okay, I've changed this data thing. That's fine. So let's just think about the sort of the chain, the call chain, right? We've got this dot complete task. We've got the task ID. There, the complete task. Let's try that again. Let's see if we got it. Oh, bollocks. Let's refresh that. Empty cache and reload. I just want to make sure we got the task ID in there. Sorry, did I say a swear word then? No, not really. No. Oh gosh, hello. Chesh says Dr. Kuntz would be an interesting guest. Curious to know about his shift from theoretical particle physics to CAP. Yes, I would too, Chesh. Yes. I think, maybe they're related in some sort of subatomic way. I don't know. Andrew says, Dr. Kuntz, economic realities, aka economic slavery. Oh my goodness me. The chat is getting really deep. But that's good. That's good, right? So let's press reject. And the task ID, yeah, we got the task ID. Okay, so the context is good. We got the task ID. This dot complete task. Okay, we haven't got the complete task yet. So now let's think about this. So we call this dot complete task, right? And complete task, we've got these all, maybe not the right order, but anyway, complete task says, right, okay, we're expecting a task ID and the approval status. There's a task ID, there's the approval status, true in the accept case, false in the reject case, right? Got some data, go and get a token. Let's try that. Fetch token. I mean, what we should be doing really is just trying this, because this is what what's supposed to work, right? So let's do that. So let's go here, and while we're looking through, we might as well have it building and deploying while we're looking through it. And as eggs are eggs, I will spot something that I want to change, but there we go. We'll just do it anyway. Deploy to SAP Cloud Platform. Task complete. There we go. Good. 8:46. I think we're doing all right for time. Okay, Robinho. See you tomorrow. Yes, that's great that you joined. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, see you all tomorrow. There we go. Okay, so let's put that down there. That's fine. So yeah, we got the. So what we're doing is when we press complete task, we arrange some data. We want to set the status of the task to complete, right? And that is a specific part of the API, right? There's status, there's the context. You could change, I suppose, also part of the little part of the task data. So this is effectively the task data, right? Or part of the task data that you can update. And then there's the context property, which you can add, just the things you want to change in the context. Go and get the token. Use that token as the token in the patch call to the v1 task instances task ID patch thing. Not synchronous. Okay, fine. And that's it. And then, oh yes, then we got the refresh task, right? Have we got that? Okay, we're not referencing the refresh task anywhere yet, but that's okay. We can do that in a minute, right? Has that deployed? Did that deploy? I can never remember whether this is because these things don't sort of disappear. So is that? Oh, it's still deploying. Okay, let's use my trusty MTA Opsmon to check. Come on, come on. What's it doing? Oh, right. Okay, I think we're good. Yes, it's probably almost completely deploying. Come on. Yes, the next thing is going to be skipping deletion of services, so I think we're good. Okay, so refresh task. Actually, while we're waiting for that, we might as well discuss where we would do refresh task, which should be basically when the this thing here, when the patch is complete. So there's the Ajax call gives us the ability to say, if successful, run this function module, right? So we'll do the refresh task thing there. But let's just try that now. Okay, so let's go back here and let's just reload, hard reload. Are we all following, by the way? Is it all okay? Is it all comprehensible? I'm not sure it's comprehensive, but it's maybe comprehensible. I hope so. I hope so. Let's hide the debugger. We don't want that. Okay, fine. So now we've got more stuff to look. So why don't we just sort of go through it step by step? Would it be possible to have different UI visualization to handle a task based on the type of task? Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's generally one of the powers that you have when you define this sort of thing. I mean, you could do that within the context of a single UI, a single UI5 component, or you could make that coupling at the user task level in the workflow definition itself. Because remember, right? Where's the thing here? If we look at the workflow definition, this is a single user task, and then I could have a user task further down in the workflow flow definition there, and that one might have a different user interface. So you can do it sort of, let's call it statically, depending on, for this particular user task stage, let's call it stage, I don't know what the word is, for this particular user task in the workflow itself, I want that particular UI5 component. And for another one, a bit further down in the flow, because it's a different thing, I want a different UI5 component. And what you can also do, which we've not used, is you can also pass attributes, okay, as well. So we can pass other data to the UI5 component. Or you can have a single UI5 component, or a combination, combination of everything. Single UI5 component that says, okay, well, what's information in the task? What view shall I show? Right? The UI5 is super powerful. Right. Well, oh yes, there we go. That answers your question. Cool. Understood. Thank you very much. Right. So why don't we now put a breakpoint? We'll do a reject. In fact, let's put a breakpoint on both of them just in case I press the wrong one. Let's see what happens. Right. Let's see what happens. Reject. Let's reject. So this complete task. Okay. And we can see that this .complete task is a thing now. It can go there. So let's jump. Let's put a breakpoint there anyway, right? Let's put a breakpoint there at the start of each of the things. There, right? That'll do. Oh, yeah, that'll do. So let's jump now, boing, to complete task. So we've got the data. Where's my? Oh, there we are. Step into. No, we want to step over. Boing. Fetch token. Ooh, right. Fetch token. Token is undefined right now. Let's just jump to there. Oh, yes, we got a token. Cool. So the call works. Let's have a look at the call. XSRF token. Does anybody know? John, you might know. How do I get rid of this tooltip style popover, which is in Chrome Developer Tools? And it's just really annoying because I can't sort of point at things. Anyway, there it is there. Follow my finger there. XSRF token. There's the, if I click on it, we'll see. There we go. And the token was, there's your token, 5260. Right, so there, 5260. Right, so we got that. So we're coming back from there. And now, return token, fine. We're now back in the complete task, about to make the Ajax call. Right, so let's make it. There's the token there, fine. And the Ajax call. And after that, after complete task, we're not calling refresh task, are we? Okay, well, that's fine. Let's do that. Come on. Okay, so now that is still there, approval for banana, but if we refresh that, hopefully, let's see if the call succeeded first of all. Patch 204, no content, successful. So if we refresh this, which is what the refresh task, when we call it, will do for us, hopefully, using that inbox API refresh thing, that approved banana is gone. Okay, so now all we have to do, where are we? All we have to do is make sure we trigger the refresh task. Where is it? Refresh task, right? Update task. The inbox API function is called update task, right? And give it a task ID. Here, right? So if this is successful, if the patch is successful, we can supply a function that should be called. And what we want is this.refresh task, right? And it's a pointer to a function, as it's the function itself, not the result of calling that function. So we're not going to do that, right? And also it's not refresh task, it's underscore refresh task, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Underscore refresh task. Now, I suspect that this context is not going to be right. So I'm going to explicitly say, I'm going to wrap this and say the context of this should be this. The context of this, when we call it, should be the current this, which is the component this, right? I think that's what we need. So let's deploy. Let's save that. Success jQuery this.refresh task. Refresh task. We need the task ID as well, right? Okay, that's cool. Task ID. Almost forgot that. So actually, we need a task. We need to call the task ID. So why don't we say here? Can we do this? I've no idea, right? So let's define this.refresh task ID and have that 1 2 1 2. No. What am I doing? No parameters. There's the thing. Refresh task. Yeah, okay. So we want one there. There we go. I'm going to, what's that? Unexpected token. I think that might be because this is ES6. Oh, why don't we do this instead then, right? Let's do this. Let's just not try and be clever. Function this dot refresh. No. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay. Go. 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 Test. Build. Build with Finalisation tool. I should really try in here, right? In the my inbox. So where are we? Sources. If we say here, right? Success. If we just say this dot refresh task, right? So let's save that because we've still got 2 more to play with, right? For now. So in the refresh task, that's fine. Let's get rid of that one as well. Let's just choose that one and go reject, right? Completion, that fine. Yeah, let's get rid of that one as well. Am I just rambling now, or are you following what's going on? Okay. There we go. We don't want that one either. Return to, how many breakpoints did I put in here? Oh, right. We're in refresh task, right? But the task ID is undefined, of course, because we're not passing the task ID. So what we could do, I suppose, is go and get it from here, right? But this, the context of this, is the wrong context, right? And this is what I wanted to show. This context here is the context of the Ajax call. Look at it. Look at it. That's all Ajax, isn't it? Ajax call, Ajax call, Ajax call, right? And that's because I didn't wrap it in a jQuery proxy. For example, there's other ways of doing it as well. We use bind. So, okay, that's not going to work, is it? So anyway, let's just hard refresh this because has that deployed already? Let's go back here. Oh, did I deploy or build? Oh, I didn't deploy. Did I deploy? Did I deploy? I'm sort of panicking because basically we're almost out of time. Let's do that. Let's do it like this, right? Let's refresh. Let's hard refresh. We're almost there, right? So even if it takes a few more minutes, shall we just stay on for a couple more minutes? Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Hurry up. Oh, did I get rid of all of them? Oh, there we go. That one there. There we go. Okay, so we've got one left. So now then, why don't we, in the refresh task, or here rather, just add that again. So we'll say success jQuery.proxy. We'll use that. I know jQuery, this dot refresh task this, right? So let's have that. And then in refresh task, we're not going to expect the task ID. Instead, we'll say, just for the sake of argument, right? Var startup parameters equals this dot get component data dot startup parameters, and then this dot var, and then we can say startup parameters not inbox task ID, and the task ID, I'm just going to cheat. The task ID is the startup parameters task model get data instance ID, right? Let's just do that. Where was I? There. Startup parameters dot task model. There we go. 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 Is this going to work? Let's put these on separate things, separate lines, so we can see what we're doing. Instance ID. We don't want a semicolon there, but we want that there, and then we want that there. I think that might work. I don't know. Let's try it, shall we? Let's go there. So now all we're doing, I'll add this to the code in the end. All we're doing is we say basically on success of this patch, call the refresh task. I could get the token from here, but let's try that thing in a minute if this works. And then go and get the task ID and call the starter parameters inbox API update task, give it the ID, Bob's your uncle, hopefully. So, how many have we got? We got that one. Reject. Okay, so starter parameters, that's working, cool. So we've got the right this. So let's just try it. Let's go, go, go. Task successfully processed. Yes. Okay, John, you got a dash. Thanks very much indeed. That's brilliant. Okay, so that's what we want. I mean, you know, we could send. I wouldn't write this way anyway, but we could send the task ID when we call refresh task, but we're just grabbing it here. So we're done. 9 o'clock. It worked. So I will just add this. I'll copy this refresh task into here. So we just complete, right? Refresh task. There it is. Bang, in there. And this thing here, from here, success, that line there. Copy that in there, in there. Where is it? What we're doing? What we're doing? Here we go. Oh, there we go. Success. There. Save. Done. Thank you so much for watching. That was it. That was the complete custom task UI. You got the buttons, you got the binding, you got the gaining of the data, you've got the what happens when you press a button, you've got the updating of a task and everything. So basically in the inbox is, you know, it's completed, so it's not in the inbox anymore. And also the inbox display is changed because we're updating doing the refresh task. So there you go. Okay, so have a great weekend on SAP Online Track. See you all there. Thanks for watching, and yeah, bye, 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 bye.